So for the average person, vaccines are kind of a complicated science, no question about that. Ultimately, at the most basic level, the intent of vaccines is to give your immune system some familiarity with the infectious illness of interest, in this case COVID-19, so that when your immune system comes across it again, it says, hey, I've seen that thing, let's kill it, let's go after it. And all these vaccines are really focused around this, what's called the spike protein on the COVID-19 virus.
The virus uses those spike proteins to get into the cell of yours that it wants to infect. When people worry about, oh, I'm going to get COVID from this, no, these vaccines do nothing but produce spike protein. There's no COVID in there. But that's what they all do, and they do it in very different ways. The two mRNA vaccines, Pfizer and the Moderna, and they do it by sticking a messenger RNA into your cell.
Everybody's heard of DNA. That's sort of your cookbook for how do you make an organism that's in every cell of every living being on Earth. RNA is a step removed from that. It's essentially saying, let me take one recipe out of that cookbook because I want to make one thing. And so these vaccines work by taking that recipe and delivering it inside of another cell. Your own cells eat that up and then use your own cellular machinery to make something from that.
And they instruct that machinery to make spike protein, and that spike protein gets on the surface of your cell, and the immunity that it generates to that spike protein is the immunity that protects you.
Some of these whole virus vaccines, which are more similar to what we're familiar with in the past, essentially just do it by giving you an inactive form of the virus to attack, just not the protein alone. But at the end of the day, what I could tell the layperson is, if you wanted to know, well, gee, which vaccine should I get? I would say, get the one you can get soonest.
Nobody would have even dared to hope that we were going to have a vaccine as good as this one appears to be. It's miraculous. The amount of disease prevented is going to be huge. It's a fascinating subject, what it is that actually convinces people to get vaccinated. Science guys like me talking about data basically don't convince a lot of people. So one science guy spouting data may convince another science guy, but mostly people come with their own conclusions and then go to these weird sources because they want reinforcement for the conclusion they have in their gut.